Good evening and welcome back to Falcon Update live on MC77. I'm Nolan Hoganboom.
And I'm Allie Hufford. Work continues inside the fence here on campus. Construction workers were seen leveling the dirt today and creating an alternate way to get down to the breaches through the Kleiman-Haga building. We will have another construction update next week.
There have been 2 reported residence break-ins recently on campus. The first occurred September 12th and has been confirmed as a prank. The second occurred recently on September 16th in Hess. Several valuables have been reported stolen, and the break-in is still under investigation. However, both rooms robbed were unlocked. Students are encouraged to lock their doors while out of the room and keep their valuables locked away.
We now go to Falcon on the Street, the segment where we ask Messiah students random questions around campus. We go to Josh Lindquist for this week's question.
We went around campus today asking students what their favorite activities are to do. This is what they had to say.
Here I joined Acclamation and Footprints, and they're a dance club on campus. And it's a group of believers who just dance, and it's a dance ministry, not a club, my bad. But yeah, they're really cool. They meet every night, I think, and there's a schedule somewhere. Hit them up. It's a good thing.
Well, I'm actually part of the Student Government Association, so I get a great opportunity to be a part of every club. In just a little bit. So I get to know a lot of different people, a lot of different organizations, and so far they're all wonderful. I was also part of Order of the Falcon. Go Nerds. So just like different entertainment, different gaming, and just a lot of opportunities to make great friends.
So ever since I came to Messiah, those kind of weekend outings with the Outdoors Club or the Loft have been a lot of fun. I've gone kayaking, and this weekend I'm going to go canoeing, and then there's going to be a little picnic afterwards. So different outdoor activities I've enjoyed.
Recently joined the club field hockey team. So that's really fun, getting to exercise and be around a great group of people, and just gym because it keeps me healthy. Good way to have a productive break from school.
I love being a part of Minds Matter. I'm actually the president, so that's been so much fun to see just how I've grown through that over the years and how the club has grown from past leadership.
I'm working for the sustainability office. I coordinate energy projects and programs, so that's an avenue for me that I've been active in. It's not necessarily a club or activity, but I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I've been able to get involved with a lot of theater stuff, mainly being a theater major, so APO Alpha Psi Omega, it's a fun club to get involved with shows. I've also been able to go to a few meetings at LAL. They do really awesome events on campus like BILA, which is this Friday. Come, it's really fun. And then also I've been able to see a lot of things that my friends do in different avenues as well.
Interesting activities I've been introduced to were a lot of the MCC clubs like ASA, BSU, LEL. Just a very good spot for different races represented on the side campus.
Some of the different activities I've been introduced would be Powerhouse and rec soccer, some of the little things, but yeah, it's a pretty major thing for me because just I can get my mind off homework and other things that I do in life, and just to be able to spend time with people, and yeah, just getting along with people during those times. It's a good time for me. Yeah.
As you can see, there are many fun things to do on campus. Let us know what yours are at our social media. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh. We'll have more Falcon update after the break. Stay tuned.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories? I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
What?
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. On Sunday morning, around 1:25 a.m., a fire alarm was reported in the Hoffman building in the laundry services area. The fire was put out, however, there is smoke damage and a lot of soot in the building. All Hoffman employees have been temporarily relocated until the building is back in operation. Students, employees, and guests are denied access to the building for the time being.
The women's volleyball team went up against the Stevenson Mustangs on Wednesday. The Falcons started off strong in the first set, but the Mustangs went on a run and claimed the win. The Falcons fell again in the second set, but managed to get a win in the third. Unfortunately, Messiah wasn't able to clinch the fourth set, giving Stevenson the victory. Messiah lost 1-3.
Women's volleyball started their match against Catholic University of America up 2-0, and then held off a comeback attempt to win the final set 17-15 and the match 3-2. Mary Underman had 21 kills, Kristen Seibert had 55 assists, and Amanda Dahlman had 26 digs in the match.
The women's volleyball team started the second day of the Newman Knights Invitational by playing against the Rosemont College Ravens. The Falcons dominated against the Ravens through all three of the sets that they played. In the third set, the Falcons went on three separate 7-0 scoring runs, giving them the victory in the match.
In the last match of the Newman Invitational, the Falcons swept the Knights 3-0, led by Mary Underman's 12 kills and Kristen Seibert's 30 assists. With that win, Messiah improves to 11-3 on the season, and they'll face Arcadia this Wednesday at 7.
The men's soccer team defeated the York College Spartans on the road on Wednesday in a 3-2 game that ended in overtime. Trevor Goodling put Messiah on the board early on, but the Spartans responded with 2 consecutive goals. Goodling kept the Falcons in the game by scoring another goal with only 15 seconds remaining. Goodling would complete his hat trick by scoring a third goal off of a pass from teammate Micah Fitz. His effort gave the Falcons their third straight win after a shaky start to the season.
We'll have more Falcon Update after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios. A these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. The CF Foundation has made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Hey, ready to go? I sure am. My sleep has been great ever since I started treatment for sleep apnea.
Well, nearly 30 million adults have it, including me.
Now, let me guess. It was your snoring that gave it away?
Oh, yes, it was. Intense snoring is one of the classic signs.
Other signs include gasping for breath during sleep and daytime sleepiness. If untreated, the risk of heart disease and stroke increases.
I didn't know that, but I'm glad to hear the treatment can help.
Certainly can. To learn more about the warning signs, visit defendsleep.com.
Both my legs were amputated due to an IED. It's when you start to try to get back into like an everyday life. I absolutely felt like I lost some of my purpose. There must be something more. When DAV came into my life, they gave me a new mission. I could still be a productive member of society, could still support a family.
The DAV gave him that sense of structure and purpose again to get his life back together.
Visit DAV.org to learn more about our mission.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my God, yes. I
Right?
mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did
Messiah men's soccer faced Salisbury on Saturday in an absolute defensive battle. And we're going to see in just a second here, in the first half, the Falcons see a decent chance coming. But the shot here flies out of harm's way with no goal. And now shortly after the start of the second half, we're about to see one of the Salisbury Seagulls' 8, count them, 8 fouls in the second half alone. And then a shot opportunity after that from downtown, sails over the goal. Nothing doing, but then coming up on the end of regulation, ball gets crossed over the box. Sophomore Luke Gruthoff comes over and picks it up, sending it back in for a prime opportunity just over the net. Neither team could get it done in overtime, even with one penalty kick attempt each. And the match ended in a draw, 0-0. That brings the Falcons to 4-2-2 on the season, and they'll play at Elizabethtown Wednesday night.
The women's soccer team hosted Denison College on Saturday evening on Shoemaker Field. Messiah's offensive got off to a great start with early game goals scored by Maddie Cole and Brooke Firestone, both within the first 10 minutes of the game. Firestone would score again later on in the first half. Before the halfway point of the game, Mallory Johnson would score the team's 4th goal. Neither team would score during the second half, giving the Falcons a 4-0 victory. The team will be back in action on Wednesday when they travel to Marymount University.
The Messiah women's tennis team welcomed York College to Chris Courts on Saturday for a fall season matchup. The Falcons struggled in doubles play, winning just 5 games across 3 matches. And York continued to dominate in singles as well, winning all 6 matches against the Falcons in straight sets. Messiah will continue to prepare for their spring season in their final fall matchup at home next week against the University of Scranton Royals.
The men's volleyball team played their first match of the season on Saturday against York. In doubles play, Bryson Boker and Ellis Martis were the only duo to pick up a match victory. Boker, Jared Snyder, and Connor Rose all managed victories in singles action, but it wouldn't be enough. The Spartans reigned over the Falcons 5-4. The Falcons will be back on the court on Saturday, October 5th at Swarthmore College.
In field hockey, Hannah Palm and Taylor Wiederecht scored a goal each to lift the Falcons above Catholic University Cardinals 2-1 on Saturday. bringing them to 3-3 on the season. They'll travel to Baltimore to face Johns Hopkins on Wednesday.
Feeling stressed this week? Next is our segment De-Stressors with Charmaine Lim.
The weather is starting to change. Cool mornings and evenings with warm days certainly make it feel like fall. Settle in with the weather and try out some of our new activities this week. Firstly, read Monster by Walter Dean Myers. Steve Harmon is on trial for murder. The only thing is, no one actually knows if he did it. The police arrested him because 2 other criminals mentioned his name, and possibly because he's a black kid. Meanwhile, Steve tries to cope with being in prison and being in court by writing about the events that led to this moment through the format of a screenplay. Thoughtful and written in an unconventional style, Myers challenges his readers to think about what happens when no one knows the real story behind a terrible crime. Listen to Crash Into Me by Steve Aoki and Darren Criss. Famous DJ Steve Aoki is back, and he's partnered with former Glee star Darren Criss for a new single. We've recommended Criss's music in the past, but his partnership with Aoki brings a whole new sound to his music. The fun electronic beats paired with simple lyrics make this song super easy to jam out to in your room or in your car. Watch My Hero Academia. Love superhero stories? My Hero Academia is one of many new stories about young superheroes with special powers known as quirks. To be the best, they have to attend UA High School and train with the best superheroes. Izuku Midoriya desperately wishes to be a hero like his idol, All Might. But when Midoriya gets the chance to attend UA High School, he learns that there's more to being a hero than just having the strongest powers. Watch It Chapter 2. If you enjoy horror movies, this sequel and conclusion to the 2017 remake of Stephen King's novel is a good way to celebrate the slowly cooling weather. It Chapter 2 follows the losers, now adults, as they return to Derry to defeat the evil clown known as Pennywise. Trigger warnings for violence, homophobia, adult language, domestic violence, and mild sexual content. And to end your week, float down the Yellow Breeches. Take advantage of some of the last warm weeks of the year by going to the Yellow Breeches with some tubes or kayaks. If you're looking to kayak, contact the loft for more information about borrowing their equipment. Even if you're not going far, it's fun to see where the water leads and relax with some friends. But do remember to be careful, as the recent reports were made when students were being harassed while tubing. That's all for this week's Daily De-Stressors. I'm Charmaine Lim.
Thank you, Charmaine. We'll have Campus Calendar after the break.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you can't make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi there. You might wonder what a famous Hollywood celebrity like me is doing reading in the dark. Is this some new sort of Hollywood method acting? No. This is quite real.
Did you know that Americans use about 4 times as much energy per year as the global average? We waste energy left and right, despite the fact that the dirty fossil fuels we use to power our energy sources wreak havoc on the natural world and destroys valuable wildlife habitats.
By reading with my solar-powered night vision goggles, I'm saving energy and looking sleek.
You don't have to sit in the dark like Ed Begley Jr. to save the world. Fight climate change by speaking up for cleaner, smarter energy, including rooftop solar.
Oh, that's way better. Oh.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But
I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Hiya, Queen of All Knowledge here, reminding you, creeps out there on the internet hack, scam, and trick savvy cyber users every day, but we can fight back. It's as easy as IC3. If you're a victim of online crime, don't give up. Visit IC3, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. Your tips help the FBI track down cyber criminals around the world. Report your crime to www.ic3.gov today.
Welcome back to MC77. Here's this week's campus calendar. Are you a senior considering graduate school? Don't miss out on the Grad School Informational Luncheon this Wednesday, September 25th. This luncheon will be in Hostetter Chapel from 12 to 1 p.m. Dr. Don Martin will be speaking about the research and application process and how to succeed in graduate school. Lunch will be provided and there will be a time for a Q&A. Contact Dwayne Kiefer in the Career and Professional Development Center with any questions. On Wednesday night from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Boyer Atrium, there will be a table talk discussing the ethics for fighting for human rights. If you have an interest in social justice, come out and join in these small group discussions. On Friday, September 27th, the Messiah College Wind Ensemble and Symphonic Winds will be performing. Led by conductors James Colonna and Travis Weller, the performance is open and free to the public. The performance will be from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. in Palmer Hall in the High Center. This weekend, Lost Films is presenting Yesterday. The film is about Jack Malik, a struggling singer-songwriter in an English seaside town. After a freak bus accident during a mysterious global blackout, Jack wakes up to discover that the Beatles have never existed. Performing songs from one of the greatest bands in history to a world that has never heard them, Jack becomes an overnight sensation. Showtimes are 6 and 9 p.m. on Friday and 3, 6, and 9 p.m. on Saturday. Tickets are free for students and $4 for guests. That's all for this week's campus calendar. I'm Brian Shermeyer.
Thanks, Brian. That's all for this week's show. Be sure to tune in to MC Live coming up next.
For Josh Lundquist, Charmaine Lim, Brian Shermeyer, and Allie Hufford, I'm Nolan Hoganboom. Have a great night.
Well, GoMessiah.tv allows us to reach a greater fan base for all of our parents of student athletes who are out of state and can't make it to a lot of our games, or even our growing alumni base. It's awesome to be able to have the opportunity for them to touch base with us and watch our games live and enjoy seeing where the program's going.
I'm Lily. I am a junior, and I am a broadcasting and media production major at Messiah College. I chose to be a broadcasting and media production major because as a little girl, I dreamt of being a TV anchor. There are so many opportunities you can have as a broadcasting major. Messiah is really unique in the fact that we have our own TV station, and it's student-led, so each week we have Falcon Update, which is a half hour, and then we have MCLIVE, which is a half hour as well. My favorite part is just being in the hustle and bustle of everything, and I'm really excited to just be creative when I'm putting together news packages or shooting other stories, just really getting every element of storytelling in my work. So we have a lot of faith-based projects. Right now we're working on one, it's called Faith Sides for multimedia storytelling. In pairs we're interviewing each other for 2 minutes about some aspect of faith. A lot of students from our major either intern at ABC27 or WGAL. I shadowed one of my professors at a Hershey Bears game. The Bears are a local AHL hockey team, and through that experience I developed connections, and eventually I got a job there. So I run the Crossfire machine and the LEDs on game days. My freshman year at Messiah, when I first came, I knew absolutely nothing about broadcasting or media, and now I feel confident that I can go work at a TV news station.
Hey, ready to go?
I sure am. My sleep has been great ever since I started treatment for sleep apnea.
Well, nearly 30 million adults have it, including me.
Now, let me guess. It was your snoring that gave it away?
Oh, yes, it was. Intense snoring is one of the classic signs.
Other signs include gasping for breath during sleep and daytime sleepiness. If untreated, the risk of heart disease and stroke increases.
I didn't know that, but I'm glad to hear the treatment can help.
Certainly can. To learn more about the warning signs, visit defendsleep.com.
Hi, my name is Abigail McBride. I'm an alumnus of Messiah College. I was the head tutor of the Writing Center for about 3 years. In high school, a lot of us are taught the phrase, and I still hear it from students in the Writing Center, but a lot of us were taught the phrase, a thesis says what you're going to say in the order that you're going to say it. And that's a helpful concept because it teaches you how to put multiple ideas into one sentence. But the problem is it creates theses that are more like a list of ideas. This paper will talk about X, Y, and Z versus an actual claim, which is what you're expected to do in a college paper. You're supposed to take a risk. It's supposed to be the actual argument of your paper wrapped up into one sentence. One way I like to talk about it is, a thesis, that's just your list. Your high school thesis, so it's kind of more like your list of ideas. But in college, it should sound a little bit like you are fighting with your mom. You wouldn't say to your mom, I shouldn't have to clean my room today, and I will tell you why later. You would say, Mom, I shouldn't have to clean my room today, and here are the reasons. So a few things to look for in your thesis statement are words like should or because. You want to be making a specific argument and backing that up with some of your main ideas. An example of this is maybe the old way of doing a thesis would be something like, this paper will talk about honeybees and the problem of their extinction and the way they pollinate. Now, we're not actually getting into an argument there, so a way that we could change that for a college paper would be to say, this paper will talk about honeybees and they should be preserved and protected because their pollination habits protect all of human food resources. We're taking a little bit of a risk. It's something maybe not everyone would agree with, but we're still getting all of those reasons in that would have been included in the more list-driven thesis. Another place that you can read about this is in your writer's reference. That is the handbook for the Messiah College Writing Program. You have access to that both in the text form and through Canvas. So they have a lot of helpful tips and also go through and talk about common thesis errors and the way to correct it. So I definitely suggest checking that out.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Good evening and welcome to MCLIVE right here on MC77. I'm Dan Allen.
And I'm Jacy Seltzer. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. We have freshman Eli Whitehead Zimmers here to perform a few songs for us on his cello.
Following, we'll have Rebecca Lawver and Leah Stern from Earthkeepers to tell us how to keep the earth here at Messiah using sustainable practices. You won't want to miss this. We'll be right back after the break.
I was diagnosed at 65.
37, earlier than most.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
We're back here on MC77 with freshman Eli Whitehead Zimmers. How are you doing tonight, Eli?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me,
Oh,
Jacy.
awesome. Thank you. So take it away.
All right, thank you. So the first song I'm going to be playing for you tonight is from Bach's 6th Cello Suite in D major, and it is the Carante movement. So that was Bach's 6th Cello Suite, the Carante movement. And the next piece I'm going to be playing is a little bit different, and it is Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Eli, that was amazing.
Thank you so much, Jacy. Thanks again for having me.
Absolutely. So how long have you been playing the cello?
So I've been playing the cello just about 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were playing longer than that.
Yep, just 6 years.
It's amazing. So are you more of like a contemporary music kind of guy or classical?
Yeah, so I started classically trained, and I
Okay.
really enjoyed the beautiful, music, and there's a great repertoire for classical music. But just recently, like this past summer, I went to jazz camp here at Messiah.
Okay.
And it's just interesting to explore the different genres of music that the cello can play, because it's a very versatile instrument.
It is. It's an awesome instrument.
Thank you.
So people have heard you play at Freshman Coffee House.
Yes.
Right. Do you play anywhere else, or are you going to play anywhere else on campus?
Yeah, so actually tomorrow, me and some friends are going to be playing for the Arts Invasion.
Okay.
And tomorrow morning, I think in the outside lobby, I'll be
lobby?
playing with a pianist and then also with my string trio.
Awesome. Well, you guys can catch Eli at the Arts Festival tomorrow. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks
It's been
again
a
for
pleasure.
having me.
Absolutely. When we come back, we will have the Earth Keepers Club here, so stick around after this break.
Find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer? The Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/Drug Facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Can I give you a hand?
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome back to MC Live right here on MC77. We're joined by President Rebecca Lover and Vice President Leah Stern of the Earth Keepers Club here at Messiah. So how are you guys tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm doing really well, thank you. So first question, I guess, is I just want to know how long you guys have been a part of the Earth Keepers Club.
Yeah, so I started off my freshman year just coming to the meetings, and then I got more involved last year. I was the treasurer of the club, and I went to some of the SGA meetings, and this year I'm the president.
Cool.
Yeah, last year I attended some of the events, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool thing. And then as I got to know some of the leadership team better, I got more involved, and then this year I stepped up to be the vice president.
Awesome, that's really cool. So you guys, as the club as a whole, you're all about sustainable practices. So can you tell us just a few examples of some of those simple practices that the viewers and we could just do in everyday life?
Yeah, so specifically here on campus, we have compost buckets. That's one of the main things that we try to promote, just composting different materials instead of adding them to the landfill and that kind of thing. We do work with the community garden on campus too, trying to encourage volunteering with that. And it's a great way to practice sustainable solutions like growing your own food, that kind of thing.
Yeah, living on campus, it's really hard to have control over a lot of things, especially like what you eat and where your food comes from. But there's a lot of little steps that we can take, like at Lottie, like being careful not to take too much food, try to reduce our food waste that we produce on campus. Also in the union, it's a very hot topic right now that we can order for here so we don't create the waste of the takeout containers. So just like small things like that make it easier for us to live sustainably on campus.
Okay, awesome. So fun question now. I don't know if either one of you had anything to do with this being on Messiah's website, but on Messiah's website, if you look under the Earth Keepers tab, it makes sure to mention that you are not your everyday tree huggers. So if you have a way to differentiate the two, how would you explain the difference?
Well, we weren't directly we didn't directly put that on the website, but I think that describes us pretty well. I personally would describe myself as a tree hugger, but there's a lot of negative connotations associated with that. So people think that we're angry or really like aggressive or we don't care about other topics, but at least for myself, I do care about other social justice issues, but I do want to take better care of our earth, and I do akin more to a tree hugger status.
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to move beyond just the stereotype of a tree hugger and looking at how like taking care of the earth is much broader than that, and living sustainably involves social issues too and all that kind of thing. So.
Okay, great. Well, that answers that. So you also kind of promote yourself as you use sustainable practices on campus and abroad. So how do you, we know a little bit about how you guys do it on campus. How do you do that abroad?
Like our club personally?
Yeah, your club personally, or who do you work with off campus to kind of make that happen?
I don't know about abroad specifically, but we're trying to move beyond just our campus and think more outside of just Messiah's campus. And so this fall we're doing a tree planting along the Yellow Breaches, and that's feeding into the Chesapeake Bay. So we're working with the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay to improve water quality, not just in our watershed, but beyond that too. So, I mean, that kind of contributes then to greater issues. So just trying to do practices and recognizing that practices that we're doing here on campus do affect the broader community, that kind of thing.
So something like that tree planting that you guys are doing, can anybody come and do that with you guys, or is that just for people in the club?
Yeah, so anyone can do it. We just need an RSVP to the Office of Sustainability. It's on October 20th or 21st at 4 p.m. So it's for anyone. We just need an RSVP to know who is attending. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you have any other events that you guys host that people can be a part of?
We host meetings every other Tuesday night in Boyer 102. So we have one tomorrow night, September 24th, 8 to 9. And those meetings are typically focused around discussion-based, so talking about different issues and different topics. Specifically tomorrow night, we're talking about different dietary ways that you can help the environment, so like veganism or vegetarianism and what that looks like.
Okay. So another thing I read is that you guys really look at honoring God through sustainability. Can you kind of describe that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think that all ties into creation care and the fact that we were given the earth, but it's not ours to just exploit. Like, we need to take care of it because is God's gift to us. So I think that's kind of how we want to approach creation care and that sort of thing.
Yeah, historically, a lot of Christians have think that God has given us the earth to use, but we like to think more along the lines that God has given us this gift, and we need to take care of it as if it's not ours, because it's God's.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So you two personally, what are your goals kind of after graduation? Do you plan on kind of, like, how do your majors kind of intertwine with doing sustainable things after you graduate and are off campus?
Yeah, so right now I'm thinking of taking a gap year, but then after that I want to go to grad school for something with urban ecology and sustainability in that, so trying to improve our cities and living more sustainably in them, and how that ties into the ecology aspect of things. So.
I'm personally interested in environmental education, so doing like public outreach events or talking to different people about environmental issues would be the goal, so yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So for someone who might want to be a part of Earth Keepers or kind of just wants to learn more, how can they get in contact with you guys, or who do they contact?
They can either come to our meeting tomorrow, that would be a great way of getting in touch with us, or you can email us at earthkeepers@messiah.edu if you want to join our club, and we'll just add you to the email list and keep people updated on the events.
Yeah. Okay, so can you guys talk about, maybe go into more about the composting buckets and how you use that? You talked about earlier about how there are compost buckets that people can put in their dorms and can use that way. How do you use those in the Earth Keepers Club towards sustainability?
Yeah, so we promote them. We want people to pick them up from the Office of Sustainability, and so our club does that. And then, like, within our personal lives, we both live in the restoration house, so we have a compost bucket at our house, and so we put things like vegetables and fruits into the compost bucket, and that prevents it from going into the trash where it doesn't need to go. And then we use that compost on campus to put into the garden. So that's kind of our way of adding to that.
Okay. So last question, I think. If you guys could, talk about how closely do you guys work with the Office of Sustainability, and are there any other groups that work with sustainability on campus?
So Reb actually works with the Office of Sustainability, so that's her on-campus job, and our advisor is Brandon Hoover. So there is a lot of overlap with it, but Earth Keepers is student-run and mostly attended by students. The office is more broadly spread over campus, and they do a lot more work with like administration and higher up with us, but we're more focused on the students and what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty much summarized it, yeah.
Okay, so if you could stress two things to the students, we talked about the compost buckets and Lottie and eating out at Union. Those are three common things that we hear a lot. Is there anything that you guys kind of want to stress to students who might be watching that we haven't really heard before, or is maybe new to sustainability?
I mean, I'm a big proponent of like a reusable water bottle. I still see a lot of like athletes and people carrying around like plastic water bottles, and like that's just not cool anymore.
Issues, so when possible, especially since we're all like living in the same area together, it's easy when you're going to events that are off campus or anything like that to try and carpool together too. So that'd be another way.
Okay. So I know Messiah does have different things, kind of like what you were talking about with the reusable water bottles. They installed water fountains that had the sensor underneath that could refill water bottles, thus saving plastic water bottles. Do you guys push for anything like that on campus when it comes to Messiah's budget? Do you try to push for more sustainable options, things like that?
Yeah, so we're working with this is more also the office too, but getting the compostable containers back at the Union, which that's in process and getting sorted out. So there were some voices from Earth Keepers that were pushing for that. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a senior, so I actually don't have a meal plan, so I don't really go to Union or Falcon or Lottie very often, and I know some other seniors who are off of meal plans don't either. What was the issue at the Union with those the compostable containers?
So they previously had compostable containers when you got takeout, but this year, due to an ordering issue, they got plastic containers that were actually not recyclable. So there were some people on campus spoke to dining about it and stuff, but it was just an ordering issue, and so they are getting the compostable containers back on campus starting November. But of course, ordering for here is still the better option.
Gotcha. Okay, so are there any thoughts or plans in place about trying to make dining at Messiah even more sustainable, like sustainable foodware, like silverware or plates or bowls, things like that?
There has been talk about getting reusable to-go containers, so we're going to see where that conversation goes and try to keep encouraging that, because some other colleges have it in place, and I think that we could add that into our sustainable practices too.
But like any other issue, there's multiple sides to it, so it's easy for us to say, oh, we should get that, but there's many other sides to it, like budget and things like that have to be taken into consideration.
Okay. So in the back 40, I know some people who walk through the back 40, they probably know this, but a lot of people might not. There's the giant pile where I think the compost is kind of dumped, and you see different things back there, like plastic forks. Is that something that you guys kind of take care of, where it's when people put things in like plastic forks in the compost buckets? How does that get taken care of or handled?
So the Office of Sustainability is the one that manages the compost, but they don't have enough manpower to like manually go through the compost, so whatever is put into one of those organic bins is immediately put into the compost, because that's just the easiest way. So it's kind of up to the students to take responsibility to be carefully sorting their items into trash, recycling, or organics in order to prevent things like plastic forks in our compost.
Okay. Yeah, so don't put plastic forks in the compost. Just, throw them out. That's the better option currently. So yeah, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you guys for being on the show. Another big thank you to Eli Whitehead-Zimmers for performing for us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in next Monday for Falcon Update at 7, or check out our YouTube channel for more campus news, interviews, and musical performances. Have a great night.